We have a quorum.
Thank you, everybody, for attending the hearing. I'd like to move that we go into executive session. I have a second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. We are in executive session. I want to bring up my bill that we heard last week dealing with unemployment indexing, Senate Bill 45. Do I have a second? What? 745. What did I say? 45. Oh, 45? Sorry, 745. Those all in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The bill is before the committee. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I move that Senate Bill 745 be voted out of committee do pass. Do I have a second? I have a second. Any discussion on that motion? Matt, please call the roll to vote out Senate Bill 745 out of committee do pass.
Senate Bill 745. Senators Bernskoetter.
Aye.
Aye. Searpoy. Aye. Beck. No. Black. Aye. Bratton. Huff. Razor. 3-1.
I move we exit executive. What? Oh, I'm sorry. By your vote of 3-1, the motion carries. I move we exit executive session. Do I have a second? I have a second. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. We're out of executive session. Now we're going to hear Senate Bill 845. Senator Black, can you take over?
Yes, Senator, thank you. Senator, please introduce yourself and begin when you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Senate Bill 845, this bill will add severance and termination pay to the definition of wages for the purpose of unemployment insurance. Currently, severance or termination pay are not considered wages for unemployment insurance purposes. Vacation and holiday pay are. There's 35 states that currently do this. It would just, if you're making $1,000 a week and you get a lump sum of $300 or $3,000 in the severance package, you would be eligible for 3 weeks. The 3 weeks of employment would, you would take that as your salary, and then you would be eligible for unemployment after that. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions of the senator from the committee? Seeing none, we'll go to people that are testifying in favor. Anybody testify in favor of Senate Bill 845, please come forward. Please introduce yourself. Make sure that you record that you're here with proper forms, and please begin.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. My name is Logan Hobbs. I'm the legislative liaison for the Department of Labor and Industrial Relations, testifying in support of the bill. This is the department's proposal to add severance and termination pay to the list of countable wages in Chapter 288 so that they can be used for the determination of when someone is eligible for unemployment insurance benefits. So currently there's an issue where they're not countable, and that creates a situation in the state where you could potentially get a severance payment of, say, $1 million and still be eligible for unemployment insurance benefits at the same time. And so you collect both at the same time. It's recognized as a loophole by many states. Unemployment insurance programs, 35 states have added severance and termination pay to this to close that loophole up. Red states, blue states, been a bipartisan effort to do so. We actually did succeed in doing this in 2015, and then there was some stuff that went down where there was a veto override that wasn't done at the correct time, so the Supreme Court threw it out. So we've been trying to get it back in for many years. It's been through the General Assembly before and passed. And we're just trying to bring it back. We'd like to add this back in because we also feel it disincentivizes employers from offering severance and termination pay at all. The reason being is that if they're going to offer that, there's still the potential in this state that their unemployment insurance accounts are going to get hit. So hopefully if we can do this, it will incentivize employers to do severance and termination pay more often. And we estimate that there would be a savings of about $3.8 million to the Unemployment Insurance Trust Fund if we did get this through, just based on the assumption that up to 0 to 5% of employers would participate in giving out severance and termination pay. As the Senator explained, it would work pretty simply. It doesn't affect your eligibility if you get it, it's just the timing. So a simple example would be if you make $1,000 a week at your time of separation from employment and you got a $2,000 lump sum payment, it would deduct on a weekly basis from that total severance and termination payment. So $1,000 the first week, $1,000 the second week, and then you're eligible after that to start receiving. So it doesn't cut anybody out. It's trying to make sure that they're using the severance and termination pay as intended to get them to the next job. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but that's all it does. It's a fairly straightforward bill. If you do have any questions, I'd be happy to answer that.
Thank you, Mr. Hobbs. Any questions from the committee? Senator Beck.
I do have a question. So I didn't realize, for some reason, I didn't realize this was in that 2015 bill that was vetoed
Yes.
with the indexing part. So
that may have been a part of it.
was that all a part of that? Was that all of Lieutenant Governor Keogh's bill?
I can't remember. I actually think it was a House bill that year. But
So there was two separate bills?
I can't remember what the bill number that was.
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that this was a part of that originally. I knew the indexing was vetoed, and then it was constitutionally overridden in two different sessions. I remember that part, and I remember being in the House and they bringing up the Governor Keogh's bill all the time, trying to get it passed again. But I didn't know that this was a part of that. Okay, so and you mentioned you're saying it's the state's obligation to say that you use your severance and vacation pay properly? Is that what you said?
Not
basically?
vacation, severance and termination pay. It's not saying you have to use it in any which way.
But I mean, you're saying the state should be able to determine that your severance, it's privately negotiated or whatever that is with a company, that the state should be able to tell you how to use that severance?
No, sir. The state's not saying that at all. You can use your severance and termination pay whatever way you wish, but also if you're getting pay from, let's say, part-time work, that's also deducting from unemployment insurance payments. So, I mean, it's just another wage that is being made.
Which you're working currently when you're doing that, right? So you're working, if you're working part-time, I know how that works. You're working while you're
Right.
unemployed. That money gets deducted off. I've been down that road before.
Sure.
So, but what you're saying is money that you were given when you were laid off. You're saying that whether would that be also money that you put away as an employee?
The severance and termination pay?
Yeah, and what if you put into, what if there's other funds out there? So there's money where you put money into it, and then to use that for days like the rainy day when it comes, and being able to have that safety net so you maybe don't lose your house or these things like that. So is that included in this too?
It's
in this
just
language?
severance and termination pay. So
It's not spelled out.
Well, severance and termination pay is usually a part of a defined package, and putting it away in a savings account, if that's the way it's accrued, I don't know. I'd have to do some more research onto the way that works. But this is just saying that if you get that severance and termination pay, it's going to be a little bit before you're able to collect unemployment insurance. You're still able to do so. It's the timing of it.
Okay.
And severance and termination pay is not always paid as a lump sum. Sometimes it's a weekly basis too, and so it would deduct just as if you were doing part-time work.
Okay, so is it not defined in this bill, severance and termination pay?
It is defined at
Is
the
it?
beginning of the bill. Yes, sir. So, at the top of it should be at the.
I see wages.
It adds it to the existing definition of wages.
So wages are considered, okay, well, maybe that'll be discussion for a later time. Thank you.
Thank you. Next witness in favor of the bill. Same instructions you've heard many times, correct?
Correct. Since 1984. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. My name is David Overfelt, and today I'm appearing before the Committee for Associated Industries of Missouri Retailers Association, and Missouri Grocers Association. And yes, we do support Senate Bill 845 on termination and severance pay. I believe the senator you're talking about, sometimes people pay by insurance if they're laid off, and I don't see how that would be. It's a separate, like Aflac and others. have that, but I don't know how that's considered severance or termination pay.
No, I appreciate that. I'm just curious, too, because I know when we went through rough times during the pandemic, and do you have any totals on what your industries, all three industries that you represent, how much money they got in taxpayer money to help them out? Like triple
the
P
COVID?
money, PP money, yeah,
Oh,
triple P money,
it's-
and TIFs and other
It's pretty-
things.
I'd say it's been pretty massive, and that money was to keep people employed.
Yeah,
And I believe that the vast majority of the people who were able to qualify that, of course, did.
sure.
And of course, that went back into the economy. But
What about tax credits and TIFs and things of that nature?
now, of course, I've had a longstanding issue with TIFs for a long time and a number of credits. But unfortunately, with those TDDs and TIFs and neighborhood improvements and all that, you know, typically your competition's against it, and typically the person receiving it's
Yeah,
for it.
well, I mean, it's a
So,
it's a
you know, we
taxpayer
just-
handout, right?
We think it needs to be controlled, yeah, but no,
Oh, so those industries are against TIFs?
this is not a TIF bill, so, yeah.
I'm just
Oh,
curious.
yeah.
I mean, I'm
I
just
have
curious if-
testified a number of times on TIF issues, yeah.
So the Grocers Association is against TIFs?
I would say that some of the retailers were against the TIF and how some of these
Hmm.
taxes have been applied.
So you're kind of in a precarious situation here.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
Thanks.
It depends on if you're getting it or not.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
thank you.
In favor? Not necessarily because you're coming to the microphone, but I want to remind people I'm missing an exciting committee meeting in appropriations that I'm sure that I need to be at. Please begin. Introduce
I'll
yourself,
speed it
leave your
up then.
paperwork, and let's go.
All right, good morning. Kara Course on behalf of the Missouri Chamber of Commerce and Industry, also in support. We have longstanding policy about to ensure that our UI trust fund is solvent, and we think that $3 million potential savings in this enhances the solvency. We also think this adds fairness to the system. We know that multiple states are already doing this, and if businesses are offering these severance packages at separation, that should be a factor in their UI payments, considering the employers are getting dinged if they are paying out UI claims. So with that, in support, happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Thank you. Anyone else in favor? Last call. Anyone opposed, please come forward. You probably went through this as well. Please state your name, leave your little witness form, and thank you. Introduce yourself.
Good morning. My name is Justin McCarty. I am a representative from the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union, Springfield, Missouri. I want to go on record in opposition to the way the bill is currently written, and would be willing to sit down and try to find some kind of agreement.
Okay.
And,
Any questions? Thank you very much, sir.
thank you.
One more call. Anybody opposed? Anybody for informational purposes only? Any closing remarks, Senator?
No, I don't have any. I want you to be able to get back to reports.
I won't overstep my bounds. I'll let you adjourn us, and I'll stay to hear that.